What is at stake for auto workers specifically in this presidential election?
Hey, thanks for having us, Lawrence. Look, I mean, it's not just auto workers, it's all working class people, union or not. Our livelihoods are at stake, our future's at stake, next generation's futures are at stake. We're on a course in this country. We've been on a course for 40 years of watching the gap between the rich get bigger and between the rich and poor get bigger and bigger. And, you know, when 3 American families have as much wealth as the bottom 50% of Americans, we got a crisis in this nation. And so this election is about taking back power for working class people. And the choice is obvious. This is a whose side are you on moment. And it's very clear who's on the side of working class people and who's on the side of the billionaire class.
There's the latest poll on Michigan is a Bloomberg Morning Consult poll, shows quite a lead for Kamala Harris. It shows Vice President Harris at 53% and Donald Trump 11 points behind at 42%. That's the latest poll taken. Earlier polls were closer, and so we'll see what happens in the next polls there. But that looks like something is already happening in Michigan.
Well, I think it's happening in Michigan, and I think it's happening all over this country. And, you know, people are waking up to the reality of what another Donald Trump presidency would mean. It means we continue to go backwards. And they understand now. Kamala Harris is an amazing, brilliant, strong, fierce woman. And she's got a great candidate for vice president with her in Tim Walz. And, you know, they care about people. This is an election. It's just a simple thing. Donald Trump has shown us over and over. All he cares about is Donald Trump and how he can enrich himself and his billionaire buddies. Kamala Harris is about the people. And that's what this is all about. It's about taking our power back and taking our lives back. So, and look, I'm not big on polls. The thing to me is I look at it this way. We got 90 days, and every day we approach this like we're 10 points behind until this thing's over.
How specifically does the UAW approach it in Michigan? How do you help the campaign?
Look, we keep talking facts. I mean, Trump's a liar. I mean, Trump sits here and talks about the auto industry and auto workers. He don't know the first damn thing about working class people and what we go through. He don't know about living paycheck to paycheck. He doesn't know what struggle is. He's been spoon-fed his whole life. He was given, millions by daddy and handed business after business. The guy's a joke. Working class people, Tim Walz, Kamala Harris, she talked tonight about McDonald's, working at McDonald's. She talked about her roots. Tim Walz talked about being a teacher. Teachers in this country have been left behind. They've been going backwards because of Republican policies where they're trying to gut public education so we can have private school vouchers so the wealthy people can subsidize their education for their kids, again, while the working class people get left behind. So, this is very clear to us. And, it's a simple decision for us. And like I said, it's a whose side are you on moment. And we know who's on our side, and that's Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Yeah, I heard Kamala Harris make reference to that her first job being at McDonald's. Like so many other Americans, probably millions of Americans at this point, over the years of McDonald's being the entry-level job where they started. And as you say, that's an experience that Donald Trump knows absolutely nothing about, other than being the occasional McDonald's customer.
Yeah, well, you think about this. I mean, and he talks about the auto industry, and, he trashes the UAW, he trashes me, he says I should be fired. Hey, put me in line with the other 1,000 people he's fired, during his presidency. He doesn't care about people or doing the right thing. Look, he had opportunities when he was president to get involved and help auto workers and help change situations, and he did absolutely nothing. He had an opportunity to support striking workers when he was president, and he did nothing. Kamala Harris stood on a picket line in 2019, before it was a popular thing to do, and there was nothing in that for her. She did it because she believes in that. She believes in working class people. And then, you think about this. Kamala Harris and President Biden, Donald Trump left workers behind in Lordstown, Ohio. Those workers got sent all over the country to work for GM when their plant closed under Donald Trump. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are bringing jobs back to America. There's a new factory, a battery plant in Lordstown, Ohio, and those GM workers that Donald Trump left behind are now returning home. because of the work of Kamala Harris. And that's the difference. That's the difference. Donald Trump is all talk and no action. Kamala Harris, she walks the walk, and she's all about getting things done.